Hello, everyone. Welcome to Midwest Rest, Episode 5. Yep, we're halfway there to double digits. I'm very excited about that fact. I'm happy to keep doing this. It's been really fun. I've been enjoying it a lot. And, I still got a lot of people out there that I'd like to get on here, in Kearney alone. So it doesn't look like there's going to be an end to this anytime soon. And that's very exciting. If you hear any weird background stuff, I am doing this back home here in Mitchell, Nebraska, my parents' house. My dad's a little loud, so if you hear him, that's old Hugo for you. Later on in the episode, I've got my homies, my great friends and talented musicians, the Celestial Crunk and Slow Stoics. They were playing at the Viero Center this past Saturday at the Storm hockey game. That was pretty cool. I wasn't able to go, but they told me they had a good time and it was a fun event. I got to hang out with them afterwards, and Sunday they stopped by my house, and we got an interview in, and it was a good time. I'm excited to show that off to you guys. And before we do that, I kind of just wanted to, just kind of talk a little bit about. Well, it is Thanksgiving this week, so I am trying to talk about being thankful a little bit. Not just for the sake of Thanksgiving, but just for my own sake, basically, because being thankful and grateful and appreciative of what you have in your life and what you've gone through has been a real journey for me, because I spent so much of my life just being so pessimistic and being so negative about everything, constantly saying, oh, I hate my life, I hate this, I hate that, hate. It was like it's my favorite word or something, and that's definitely not who I am trying to be. It's not who I feel I am inside. It took a lot of time just thinking about what it is that I want and what it is that I'm doing with my life here at the moment, and how I'm living and how that's contributing to the things that are going on, all the bad things that are happening. I think it's so important to just realize that there are so many things that you can be grateful for that you have in your life, because it's so easy to just get wrapped up in the everyday bullshit, basically, just figuring out that sometimes life isn't fair and it's not going to work out in your favor, and you're going to have to do some really uncomfortable things to get to where you want to be. But that's the beauty of it, that's the journey. That's what life is, and that's something that's taken me a really long time to realize. But I'm glad that I'm here. Like I said, I was in a very bad place for a while. Just always thinking that the world was out to get me, and that that there's something wrong with me because these things keep happening, and blah blah blah. It's just not the way to think. It's just not the way to be. It hinders you from just seeing the everyday beauty that's around you. It creates that own world for yourself, basically. It makes those things, it makes those words, even if you're just saying them, out of emotion, out of, just being in a bad situation, and you don't necessarily mean it completely. The more you keep saying it, the more you continue to allow yourself to say that and think it's going to actually become, it's going to become reality for you. And it's hard to realize that, but it took a while. It took a while for me to really understand that it was myself that was doing this, not life, not the world. It's not out to get me. It's not out to get any of us. It's just unfair sometimes, and the most important thing you can do is that in those unfair times, just take a breath, take a step back, and think of something that you are grateful for. And remember that your time here is not guaranteed. There's nothing that says, you're going to have another 30 years guaranteed or anything like that. There's only today. There's only this moment that you have, and you have to take advantage and be grateful and live it up to the full extent that you want to live it up to. It's easy in our privileged lives to forget that a lot of these things are privileges. You know, a lot of these normal everyday things that we go through and that we don't even think about are privileges. You know, some other people don't necessarily have a place to find water, have a place to eat a warm meal every single day, or even be with their family every single day that they want to, or even be able to call them up. And I think it's important to not lose sight of that. It's important to not let the everyday bullshit get in the way of that, because once you do, it starts to just spiral and spiral. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got caught up in my own head. I got caught up in my own bullshit and the same crap of just, being ungrateful, being selfish, being all these things, and forgetting that life is precious, the people around you are precious, and you need to savor every second that you have with them, and just savor every moment of life that you even get. Or otherwise you're going to end up just being in a dark hole and thinking that everything is terrible, thinking that there's no reason to keep going, and that's not how life is supposed to be lived. And one of the biggest things that really kicked me in the ass, to kind of force me to change, was seeing how my attitude and, I wasn't necessarily thinking that the way I was talking to myself or thinking about my own life was affecting anybody else. But when you really think about it, there's people, like there's somebody there that for me that was very optimistic, very, very happy person, always trying to be uplifting. And it really sucked watching them go from that person to slowly becoming what I was, and talking the way I do to myself and about my life, because they spent so much time around me. You got to remember, like, if this person is trying so hard to uplift you and you are not responding with much, or you are continuing to stay in your head, they're going to be able to easily get in that mindset, because it's kind of like, well, what the hell is the point of all this positivity, of all this encouragement, if I can't even help this person at all? Like, what's the point of all this? Why am I doing any of this? It's just important to realize the effect that you have on other people. Just looking at a lot of people that I've met in the last few years, they've really changed my life. Like, a lot of these people, they're not somebody that's been in my life for too long, or even like that consistent, but just watching the way that they always try to, give nothing but positivity and encouragement, and just be happy and positive. It gives me hope, and it makes me feel like that is tangible for myself. Like it's something that I am able to reach if I just forget all this other bullshit that is getting me down. And like I was saying earlier, nothing is ever promised. There's nothing guaranteed in this life. There's nothing that says you have to, get rich, or your dreams are going to come true, or that this person's going to love you back, or anything like that. Nothing like that is ever guaranteed. But just because it's like that, or just because you don't get something that you want, doesn't mean that it sucks, or that this is shitty. It just means that wasn't the right thing for you, and you've got to continue to move on and do nothing but spread love and positivity and good vibes, and just be a good person all around. On my way up here to Mitchell, I actually heard an NPR story that really, really hit home. It was talking about the situation down there at the border, the U.S.-Mexico border, with all the immigrants and everything that's happening. Just hearing a couple stories of these families, being separated, and these parents having to send over their 3-year-old kids across the border without them, because they'll have a better chance to make it in this country if they're not with their parent. it was really sad. It was really sad to hear. I think, there's so much stuff that comes out regarding that topic that it's easy to just become desensitized to it. But I think it's very important not to lose your empathy for these people. They're human beings, you know. Just imagine being separated from your little child and not knowing where they're going to go or what's going to happen to you or when the next time, if there is a next time, you will ever see them again. It's terrifying, and it hit close to home just because my parents are immigrants. Everything's worked out now. They're U.S. citizens. It's all fine. They went through the process, but things could have been so much different. And I think, like I said, I lost sight of all that stuff when I was in that terrible state. I just lost sight of everything that my parents sacrificed for me, everything that my family has gone through, and everything that I personally have accomplished and have done that have actually made myself proud. I forgot all that stuff and just left it behind. I lost sight of everything because I just decided that sadness, that feeling was more important than just being grateful that I'm here and I have an opportunity to make something of my life. So, yeah, that's the main message of this, just continue to be a good person. Try to, smile at people, open doors for random strangers, and just be a good person all around and spread nothing but love and positivity. Because you just never know how small of an action can impact somebody in such a big way. So, like I said, I'm going to have Stoics in the interview hour there. Before that, I'm going to play a little bit of Stone the Thrones, band out of Kearney, Nebraska. We've talked about them a little bit on the past few episodes. Yeah, they're really great. I've seen them about maybe 3 times now, and they just keep getting better and better. It's all structured and composed really well. Maria, she's got an amazing voice. I can't really say much else about that. She's amazing. Isaac, I've said before, he's like the best. He's like my favorite guitar player that I know, and it doesn't change when he's up there playing with them. He's just shredding, and it's just so like nonchalant. It's like these little verses where he just comes out of nowhere, and there's this shredding solo, and then back to this beautiful singing and everything. It's such a great dynamic and such a great versatile group. I got my homie Mikey Bachera killing it on the bass. Mark Schaefer, he plays rhythm guitar, and he's just a really great guitar player all around. Everything that he does, every band that he's in, I always have so much respect for all of them. Like maybe it's just him. Everything he touches just turns to gold, it seems like. But anyway, then you got Christopher Lead on the drums. So check them out, Stone Thrones. They play in Kearney quite a bit, and they're starting to play around the Lincoln, Omaha area as well. I believe they're on Spotify as well. I'm going to play one before the interview and probably something after, just to finish off with some music there. So with that, like I said, everybody just be thankful, be grateful, and do nothing but spread love and be kind. With that, we'll jump into the interview.